Okay, Marlena, I've got your work up right here. Attached to my finished identity pieces, I'll try to address your feedback about keeping it consistent and recommended placement. So, this is great. Good mock-up here. Good mock-up. Good job. Looks really good. Love the folder, the pens. Everything looks fantastic here. And it's good. It's really good to learn how to use mock-ups. I think as long as you understand that, there's those who will look at your mock-up and they'll say, okay, so this student basically used a template for a mock-up, and I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with it. I think that there are those that will say, well, you know what, this is clearly a mock-up. The student should have done this themselves, made this themselves. So, and you know what, just as long as you understand that, if you're comfortable with it, I want to say that I'm comfortable with it, and there are plenty that will be perfectly comfortable with it. It's your design, it's your placement, it's your color study, it's your concept. So I'm perfectly fine with the template, but I just want to make you aware of that. Let's jump back to, let's come down to the business card. The work is gorgeous. There's no question. It really is. There's one concern I have is that the color of George Mason here, if we back off a little bit, you can see that starts to get lost a little bit. So we're kind of left with Wellness Center, with GM Wellness Center. So that's a little bit of a concerned area right there, and that's only at small sizes. Otherwise, the logo is gorgeous. I've been saying that for a minute now, and I really think it is. I think it really is a nice work. The business card itself, I think you got a nice pop of contrast here at the bottom with the contrasting blue with the white type on the background. I think it's a good choice. The one thing I would recommend is you have a double line here, and we don't see that anywhere else, so I don't really see any advantage of introducing it right here. So in other words, I say a double line, or I could say the white line within the blue, or I could say the thin blue line above the thick bottom horizontal rule. So that's just a little bit of concern. And again, you know how I like to do this. The reason I like to do this is because it mimics looking at the piece in within Acrobat without leaving Acrobat. It mimics looking at that piece at a smaller size. And we can see what happens is see how that double line just disappeared. That is likely, it's a visual phenomenon that's going to happen if this business card is held further than an arm's length away. For example, if you have it on a desk a few feet away from you, that double line is going to disappear. So another reason why I say don't use it. Let's move on. And then you have double line again here. I mean, you're consistent about it, sure, but I just don't think it's needed. The envelope is gorgeous. Again, I think you got this nice pop of contrast here. My only concern about this is you would want to check on USPS, U.S. Post Office regulations for number 10 envelope design. A lot of times I use this area down here for stamp codes. So I'm not real sure. Those regulations change intermittently, and I'm not sure exactly what the current recommendations are, but you would want to definitely check that before you would introduce this to a commercial setting. And then the letterhead. I think the letterhead's great. I really do. It's so versatile. It's so clean and open, and it just really promotes an inviting use of this very versatile page. Same comments with that double line. Okay, and other than that, I think you're just doing gorgeous work. I love it. I just do. I think it's just fantastic. Final recommendation is this. You've got the bottom area that's complete blue, bleeding, meaning it's printing ink right off the business card, which means that when it gets trimmed, this blue will have been pulled out so that when it gets trimmed, it's ensured that the blue runs to the edge of the business card on your pieces. But over here, you don't have that. Over here, you don't have that bleed. You just have this hovering blue horizontal rule. So that's a little bit of an inconsistency there. Let's take a look at that again. Okay, see this area comes right off the page, the blue. Then over here, it doesn't. And then in the letterhead, it does again. So that's a little bit of an inconsistency again there. So, and that's it. Other than that, gorgeous work. Another word on consistency is that your letterhead and your business card feature rounded corners in this mock-up, but in these actual finished renditions, they don't. So again, just pointing to consistency. All right, those are my comments. So if you have any questions, let me know. Great job. Enjoyed it. Thank you.